When moving to a new country, everyone will have a different experience. So much so that even China and I, being married and moving here together, had somewhat distinct experiences moving to this very new place. Though different, everybody's move is effectively based on the same thing: exploration of new opportunities. Inevitably, there will be ups and downs. Some may even question the decision altogether. But from our experience and the experiences of others, it tends to all work out in the end. In this video, we share our own unique experience in moving to Canada and hopefully provide some useful insights and tips as you may be seeking to come here as well. We will touch on the immigration process, housing, career, transportation, and culture. Also, I'm going to share my biggest tip for your successful transition to Canada, so be sure to stick around to the end. Welcome to Kenny's Concepts, where the beauty of knowledge is our passion. The mission of this channel is to share useful insights and tips to help you on your personal and professional development journey with a specific focus on personal finance, career development, educational success, and opportunities through immigration. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If not, I'm super happy that you could join us once again. Remember to hit that subscribe button and bell notification to stay connected and know as soon as a new video is out. Also, if you like this video, show us some love and give us a thumbs up. China and I are originally from Jamaica but actually moved to Canada from the Cayman Islands. I've always emphasized the importance of having options, and based on all of the great things we knew about Canada, having done some research, moving here seemed to be a great option. Firstly, let's touch on the immigration process. We applied on our own to become permanent residents through the Federal Skilled Workers Program using Express Entry. The process was relatively straightforward and quick. Having done everything we needed to and submitting our application for permanent residency, we got our approval within 3 months. However, be mindful that there is a lot to do and lots of forms to fill out in a prescribed manner. The important thing here is that you do the research needed or get the required help from a professional. The second thing is housing. Housing can be tricky for new immigrants, particularly if you don't have close enough family members or friends to help you out or stay with while you get everything sorted. This was exactly our situation, but fortunately we were able to secure a condo lease before coming here. It was difficult though. Coming from overseas with no credit history here in Canada, we had to provide account statements, references from previous landlords, 4 months rental deposit, and post-dated checks for the remainder of the year. A little over a year later, we were able to buy our own home, and that has been a great opportunity. The third thing is career. This is the aspect of your transition that can cause the most frustration. For us, this was the instance where China and I had completely different experiences. Both of us being financial industry professionals, China was able to secure a job with a big bank before we even got to Canada. For me, the transition took a bit longer. I started a tax course to occupy my time and learn something new, and ultimately got a part-time job for the company doing customer service and tax preparation during the tax season. I then got to connect with a longtime friend of mine from university whose company was hiring and started a full-time position there that was relatively entry-level. The salary and responsibilities were not great, but I was absolutely appreciative. A few months later, I eventually got back into my previous field within financial services and aligned perfectly with my past work experience and level of responsibilities. The fourth thing I want to touch on is transportation. Canada is a huge place and your ability to move around is super important. Luckily, the options are abundant and include buses, streetcars, trains, the subway, taxis, ride-sharing services, and obviously having your own car. Moving from point A to point B is generally not a problem. When we got here, we did not have a car. This was a challenge at one point based on where I was working at the time. I had to take 3 buses to work, and as you can imagine, this is not the best situation, particularly during the colder months. I had numerous instances of absolutely freezing at the bus stop. We ultimately made the decision to buy a car, and that process was relatively easy, having been here for some time and built up some credit. These days we take the train to work and largely drive everywhere else. The last thing I want to touch on before I share that immigration success tip is culture. Personally, one of the best things about Canada is its diversity. As you will know, Canada strongly embraces and promotes immigration. This has allowed people from all over the world to come here and settle. This multiculturalism is seen and felt everywhere and allows the opportunity to interact with and learn from people from so many different backgrounds. This is the case when I go to work or go to the mall or go to church or go to a restaurant. Canada's inclusion and diversity is great and something that I have been truly blessed to have experienced. So, as promised, I wanted to share the biggest tip I have for successfully transitioning to life in Canada. That is, be fully prepared. I know it sounds simple, but that is exactly what it took for our transition here to be relatively seamless. Before moving, we really got super disciplined and focused on saving as much money as possible needed to make the move. We also went head deep in research on places to live, possible work opportunities, and general things to expect when we finally got here. We were 100% prepared, having saved enough money to support ourselves for months in case we didn't get a job, securing our condo for us to move right in as we landed, and connected with friends that lived in Canada that could share their experiences. The reasons to move to Canada are abundant. I recently did a video on the benefits of moving to Canada and why we chose to make this huge step. I'll link that up in the YouTube card above and be sure to check it out. In the comment section below, let us know if you have any thoughts or questions on moving to Canada. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, stay blessed.